What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope all you had a great day today. Getting into this episode of GH. I like that scene between Carly and Peyton. I loved it. Look at motherfucking Linda Pearl. Linda Pearl. I cannot believe they got Linda Pearl to play the role of Peyton. Reese's mother. I cannot believe it. Linda Pearl. She go way back. And you know who she dating right now? She's dating my guy Patrick Duffy, who played on Step by Step. He played the father on Step by Step, and he played Bobby Ewan on the Ewans on Dallas. Linda Pearl look good. They need to keep her. Linda Pearl is a knockout at her age. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She was looking flawless. But I'm glad that Carly had this blast from the past. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad, because you know what? It's a chance for her to face the past, because she never really faced it like that back then, but now she's being confronted with it as an adult. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving it. Because Peyton at first had no clue of who Carly was, you know, which is understandable. She hasn't seen Carly in over 2 decades, so that makes sense. And, you know, she was talking about how she was on the board of some beautification something. And she saw her friend's husband come into the hotel or whatever like that, or her friend's husband or whatever came into the hotel with some little young girl. And she was like, that's not his daughter. So she was like, oh, that's probably some call girl, some prostitute or something. Because, you know, basically she revealed to Carly that she was responsible for getting rid of Ruby Anderson's boarding house. You know, her little prostitution home. Because Ruby was Bobby's aunt. That took her and Luke in. Well, that took her in, basically. And that's when Bobby started turning tricks and stuff back then. So that was Ruby. So she finally got rid of the house or whatever. She finally, you know, got them to tear that sucker down or whatever. And Carly revealed to Peyton that Ruby was her aunt. And Peyton was like, were you a whore, basically? She basically asked Carly, were you working for her back then? And Carly was like, no. She was like, I ain't never worked for her. She tried to call Carly a whore. So that's when Carly started connecting the dots, and she realized who Peyton was. Peyton was Charlotte's mother. For those that don't know, like, y'all know some of y'all should know the back history of Carly, how Carly became Carly. Because when she came to town and stuff like that, she assumed her supposedly dead friend's identity of Carly Roberts, because her friend's name was Charlotte Carly Roberts. Carly was her nickname. And Peyton was pissed. You know what I'm saying? That this Carly was using her Carly's nickname for herself. Like, she was pissed about that. Because back in the day, she basically saw Carly, this version of Carly, as a social climber. You know, somebody that, you know, gained their trust, and she blames Carly for sleeping with her husband Daniel, well, her ex-husband. And I'm glad that Carly put Peyton in her place about that, because Carly is correct. Carly was a teenager back then. You know what I'm saying? Daniel was a grown-ass man who should have been brought up on criminal charges for sleeping with a minor. You know what I'm saying? And he manipulated her into sleeping with him. She was a whole teenager. He's a full grown-ass man pedophile. Like, he should have been thrown under the jail. You know what I'm saying? So how you sitting there mad at her for something that she did as a teenager, but your ex-husband, you should be slapping the shit out of him. Go dig him up somewhere and go beat the hell out of him. You know what I'm saying? How you mad at her? And she still blamed her for Reese's death and stuff like that. Didn't Reese come back to life as an FBI agent? I believe she was Reese Marshall. Because I remember Sonny, I think she was helping Sonny find Christina or something like that. I think that was back in like 2005. I want to say she turned into Reese Marshall, because I don't think she died in that car accident back in the day. But I think she inevitably, I think she did end up dying in like 2005. I think a train wreck or something like that. Train car wreck or something. But yeah, I'm glad that, you know, Carly faced Peyton and stuff, because she needed to face her past. You know, Peyton basically told her, like, you need to get the hell out this town. You know, you don't need to be here. You know, we cleaned up this town, and you never belong, basically. So you need to go. I understand Peyton was upset with Carly and stuff like that, but a lot of that stuff that happened back in the day really wasn't her fault. It's like, your husband was a piece of trash. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just garbage. But you know what? I'm glad Carly had that blast from the past because she needed that. I feel like confronting the past, I think, can help with her present and her future. I think it can. I'm glad that she did because she needed that. So anyway, moving on from that, Willow is still irking my soul right about now because she tried to flip out on Drew because Drew noticed that you looking a little peaked lately. He was like, I know your body going through some changes and stuff because of your condition. And when he said that, she kind of snapped at him like, oh, who told you? He was like, I been knew that you were pregnant. Hello, y'all told me. So that's when she realized, oh, he don't know about her leukemia. So she was like, oh, my fault, just pregnancy brain or whatever. Willow's irking my damn soul. It's like she walking around dizzy, barely can stand up. She needs to get on this treatment plan now. Like, she looked crazy. Like, you falling all over the place. You're about to pass out at any given moment. You're getting weaker and weaker by the day. She doesn't understand. The more she puts the treatment off, the worse it is for her and that child. It's gonna be worse. That's her life is decreasing. The more she puts this off, like, she needs to get her shit together and stop playing. So, Drew offered to make her some tea and stuff like that, and Michael came in or whatever to let them know about Brando and that they need to go to the hospital and whatnot. Drew keep trying to call Carly and shit, and she not answering that phone because obviously she doesn't have it. But I'm like, Drew, calm down. Come on, Carly, answer the phone. Answer the phone. Down, puppy. Down. Relax. She'll get in touch with you when she get in touch with you. Calm yourself down. Like, dude, relax. So anyway, moving on from that. Michael and this beef with Sonny is really getting on my nerves right about now. This beef with him and Sonny, it would make more sense if it was about AJ. If it was about Sonny killing AJ, I would totally be on board with that because that makes much more sense. But you're doing all this over Carly and Nina. That's what all this is about. You want to take them down because of Nina? Like, that's what this is about? Like, come on, Michael. I can understand him being upset with him and don't want nothing to do with him. That's fine, but you're doing all of this for that. Like, you seem more angry about this than you were about the AJ shit. And that was your daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, he's pissed off because his plan is not progressing fast enough for him. Sonny still got Dex doing these little meaningless tasks, that you could get any lapdog to do, but he keep giving him these little stupid tasks to do. So he feels like that's telling him that Sonny doesn't trust Dex fully yet. And he needs Dex to work a little harder to get in Sonny's good graces, so he can give him bigger assignments, something that will put Sonny in prison. He feels like Dex is pretty much going soft. He was like, listen, do I need to get somebody else to this job? Like, are you the right man for the job? Because you seem to be going soft. And Dex had to reassure him. He was like, listen, I don't hate Sonny, but I can still take him down, So then they started, talking about the whole Ava and Jocelyn situation, and Michael was like, listen, you and Jocelyn had to work together due to circumstance. He was like, don't let that happen again. He was like, because he don't want Jocelyn nowhere near this, because he hates lying to her for one, but he was like, I don't want her nowhere near it. Well, Michael, it's too bad because Mr. Dex has taken a liking into Jocelyn, and he's going to be around him now more than ever. Well, he's going to be around Jocelyn more than ever, so get over it. Get used to it. This whole plan is just falling by the wayside. Michael should have came up with something better because this is just going nowhere at this point. Jordan wanted to talk to Christina or whatever. Like, this whole investigation is going full steam ahead. She's trying to figure this thing out. So she wanted to talk to Christina, get her statement while she's calmed down some. Christina went over the event. She was like, I seen this guy, with a hoodie on, and he raised his arm, had a hook. I started screaming and stuff like that. Sonny is wondering, like, is Christina in danger? But Jordan doesn't think so. She was like, this seems like a crime of opportunity more than anything. Jordan, you are still in the preliminary stages of this investigation. How do you know exactly what's going on here? Like, what type of crime this is? Like, what this killer is trying to do? How do you know? You don't know what his intentions are. How do you know that he won't target Christina? How do you know that? You know what I'm saying? How do you possibly know that? I'm pretty sure the killer probably knows that Christina saw him or whatever. Maybe he caught a glimpse of Christina. You know what I'm saying? I think for the betterment of her safety, I think Sonny should put some guards on her. Honestly, I think he should, just to be safe. Because whoever this killer is, and I have a feeling I might have a new theory on who it could be, a new suspect, based off some information, based off of what I remember from it and information that came out. So Jordan started talking to Gladys and stuff like that, trying to figure out like why would Brando even go out the back door anyway through the alley, like why? And Gladys didn't understand why. She was like, I couldn't in a million years tell you why he went out the back door. I don't know. So Jordan was like, well, shit, who else was in Charlie? So she was like, you know, Jocelyn, Dex, they were there. So Rory came in and she was like, all right, go get Jocelyn or whatever and question her. See what they know. So Rory found Jocelyn back at the pool and stuff like that. And, you know, he was questioning her about it and whatnot. And she was like, well, shit, I went out there to, you know, Dex left out the back door. He left out the back. She went out the back because he left his sunglasses on the table, but she couldn't find them. So that's when she walked out the door, because she was like, she didn't see anybody when she went out there. My whole thing is, I'm starting to think, you know, Sonny's curiosity peaked when he heard that Jocelyn and Dex were there. So he called Dex to the hospital and basically told him, like, listen, I need you to discreetly keep an eye on Jocelyn for me. She seems to trust you and stuff like that. I need you to watch over her. I'm starting to think Dex is a suspect, because it does strike me as odd. Why would you go out through the alley to leave? Why would you do that? Nobody in that place usually goes out through the alley. Why didn't you go out? You know what I mean? It's kind of odd. Through the alleyway, the back way? Why would you do that? You know what I mean? For what? Why not go through the front? Like, through the entryway? Why not? That don't make sense. And the fact that Jocelyn really wasn't that far behind Dex when he left. She wasn't that many minutes behind. Like, he literally just left. She noticed that his sunglasses were there. She grabbed them. She left. So how could he have gotten out of sight that fast? It wasn't like he was power walking or running. So how could he got out that quickly without her noticing? Or seeing which way he would have gone? Or a car or something. I'm starting to think maybe he dashed out of that back door and put on a hoodie and got that hook. That's what I'm starting to think about him. Because, mind you, we don't know a whole shit ton about Dex. And I'm starting to think it's possible that he did this. I'm starting to think it could be possible. I wouldn't trust him. And I'm starting to think, like, what if it comes out that he was working with Michael this entire time and he's the serial killer or some attempted killer, and Michael gets the blame for all this for bringing him in? You know what I'm saying? Once everything, you know, that's a possibility. You know, how will Michael be able to live with himself? Like, you brought in a pretty much a damn near killer around your people, but yet you want to critique Sonny. That would be insane if that was to turn out that way. That would be wild. But it's just a theory of mine, though, that it could be him, because it does strike me as odd. The alleyway? Why? Like, nobody else goes through the alleyway to get into a pub. You know what I'm saying? They usually go through the front entrance. I'm just saying. So anyway, moving on from that, Sonny went to Ava's room to pretty much tell her and Nikolas that he believes Nikolas didn't do it now, because there's no way Nikolas could have been in two places at one time, and told them about Brando's attack and how Christina witnessed it. I really feel like, honestly, Christina need to be a leading chick on this show. She need to be a leading lady for the age demographic. Because Christina, even at a young age, had some powerful storylines on the show, and I feel like she should be a lead. I feel like Lexi is very underutilized on this show. She needs to be used more. I'm just saying. So anyway, Sonny was letting them know about that and stuff, and Sonny basically went outside, told Frank, his guard, he was like, listen, stay here. Nobody comes and goes out this room unless Ava authorizes it or whatever. Keep tabs on it. So, you know, Nikolas basically asking Ava, does she feel better? Like, can she breathe better knowing for certain that he's not the one that tried to attack her? You know, and she was like, yeah, I just can't believe, you know, I even had those thoughts. Because, you know, Nikolas sitting there talking about something, oh, I can't believe that you would even think that I would do that to you. Sir, you basically just sat here and told her on yesterday's episode that if you wanted her dead, you would do it with your bare hands. Why wouldn't she think that you would try to kill her? You're Nikolas. Come on, you're a Cassadon. That's what y'all do. Y'all destroy each other by any means necessary. I mean, hell, you poisoned your own grandmother, for crying out loud. Why wouldn't she think that you would try to kill her? And we all saw how angry he was that night. He was that angry that he probably would have tried to strangle her ass or Ike Turner her or something. You know, because the way he was looking at her that night and how angry he was that night, it looked like the Ike Turner was coming out. Like he was about to, But I know if he even tried to slap Ava will fuck him up. Don't sleep on Ava. Ava getting that ass. Like, don't underestimate her. So he feels like, how do we get the trust back and stuff in our relationship? I'm like, well, for one, you can start being more honest. Two, you can stop being a little hoe. Pulling your little wee-wee out at every little young skirt that come your way. You can stop doing that. That's the start. There's a lot of ways that you can fix your marriage. You just got to start. But you can tell, like, Ava still want to be with him, but it's just like she don't trust him like that, like she used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, she don't feel that same trust. And when you ain't got trust, you ain't got shit in no marriage. I'm just saying. If trust ain't there, you ain't got it. It ain't gonna work. So anyway, moving on from that, things are not looking too great for Mr. Brando. Like, the hook pretty much punctured a rib, and it still got shards in it or whatever in his body that they need to get out. They were doing surgery on him, but now they had to stop the surgery because his blood pressure done spiked. So until they can get that under control, they had to stop the surgery until they can get that under control. So once that's under control, then they will start the surgery back up for him. It is not looking good for Mr. Brando. I don't think he would die, though. I hope not, because I'm like, Sasha really can't take another death right about now. She really cannot. Like, that'd be another low blow, and it's like, she just now starting to try to get her life back together. If Brando were to go, she would lose her shits. Like, she would literally lose it. There's no way Sasha would, there's just no way Sasha would be strong enough to handle this, like, at all. This might be the final nail in her sanity's coffin. She might be a little. I'm just saying, we gotta pray for Mr. Brando here. So anyway, moving on from that, I feel like honestly Trina's trying to convince not only Rory and Jocelyn her feelings for Rory and her non-feelings for Spencer. I feel like she's trying to convince them that she's done with Spencer, but I feel like she's trying to convince herself more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because she had valid points as to why she shouldn't be with Spencer, because she wants somebody that's going to value her, respect her, and trust her and stuff like that. But I feel like she's going on this campaign trying to convince people of this. But I feel like she definitely still has feelings for Spencer. And Rory was trying to get that out of her. He was like, where do we stand? Has things changed between us? And she tried to reassure him that they haven't, but I feel like they have. I think she's just trying to, convince herself of this. She was trying to convince Jocelyn as well. Like, her feelings are done. She's happy with Rory. I believe she has strong, genuine feelings for Rory, but I feel like her feelings for Spencer are still there and they're not going anywhere. They're definitely not. Then she found out about Jocelyn's little dumpster dive with Dex, and Trina wasn't too thrilled about that one. Jocelyn knows she's not right, because Cam is a good dude, and I hate to feel like Cam is starting to get played by her. Because the mere fact that she don't tell Cameron about the whole dumpster dive with Dex, that's not a good sign. That's a sign to me that she is starting to develop something for Dex, and that's not good. I'm like, Cameron, your time is almost up in this relationship. And honestly, I feel like Cameron could possibly do better, because Jocelyn ain't no walk in the park. I'm just saying, like, she's a nag. Like, she cool, but she could be too naggy. It's like, she got too much Carly in her. Like, where she could just drive you crazy. And it's like, sometimes dudes don't want to deal with crazy. Like, we like crazy, but we only like that much of crazy. We don't, we like a smidge of crazy. We don't like that much. You got to tone that crazy down some, because we can't take all that. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought about this episode. And I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.